Okay,
Are we partying yet?
we are partying
We are
again.
partying. Welcome to another episode of the Nissan Nerd Podcast. Mike, take it away.
All right, guys, thanks for being here on social media. Today on the Nissan Nerd Podcast, we are going to go and give you an update on the ongoing Carlos Ghosn saga. We're also going to talk about crazy promotions at Nissan dealerships. And later, we're going to take a deep dive into automotive maintenance as part of our back alley chat. My name is Mike DeLashmutt. My name is Mike DeLashmutt, and if you like things done quick and dirty, then you should meet my friend and co-host Miles Hall on the Nissan Nerd Podcast.
Let's do this.
Coming up.
We got another one that we're doing here tonight, man. How do you feel? How you feeling, baby?
I feel pretty good, man. It's I'm always looking forward to these things. It's a lot of fun. My week's going pretty well, so I'm happy about that. So
you look good. You look sexy. You look like you've been working out a little bit. I know for a fact you're working out. So
do you really? Well, I try. I mean, I've got some weights here at the house. I don't know.
You got a shake weight going?
Actually, I wore that one out. I broke it, and like I can't. Aside from going to Goodwill, I can't find another one. So,
well, I was going to compliment. I know you've been working out a lot. I actually want to share something with everybody that I found. I think you're doing a lot of really good.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh.
Where you at?
Let's see here. Oh, I don't know. Where are you at? Let's go. Let's play this game. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Well, I gotta show you my buff skills. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think you do. So I had some free time the other night, and I was like playing around with a few apps.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you want to show that to anybody.
I think you're the one who has control of it, but
I have control?
See. I think you do.
Oh! You have been working out, man.
I have been. Don't let the sweater fool you, bro.
You ain't wearing much as far as the sweater. I had a little time last night. I figured I'd throw a little something together for you. I knew you were having a bad week. I figured I'd cheer you up a little bit. So, yeah.
I'll tell you this. Of all the things that you could have done, I'm almost flattered. The fact that you put a buff bod. I'll take what I can get, dude. If I look like that, I don't care. I dance too.
Well, I just wanted to say I'm glad you're having a good week. Episode, and let's go ahead and start getting right into it. Let me see here. Now, I guess you had a Memorial Day weekend. Tell me about that. What happened?
So this last weekend was pretty good. The big thing for me was I finally got my motorcycle repaired, and so now it's one step closer to being street legal. And it had been about 6 weeks since the last time I drove or rode. You can't say drive. You don't drive a bike. You ride a motorcycle. Like
you ride a bike.
Yeah, you ride. So it's been about 6 weeks since I've ridden. So that was my my highlight of the weekend, of Memorial Day weekend. I spent obviously 3 days off driving around. I'm riding dirty still. Got the plates on the way, but it's what I do.
So you realize, this is a car program. I'm not going to hold you to it, but yes, I'm still proud of you for learning a skill. I hope you don't kill yourself. So
still much to learn, you have.
Is that a Yoda clip?
That was a Yoda little tidbit I threw out there. So,
So not in addition to your Photoshop skills, you've been brushing up on your soundboard skills. It sounds like.
yes. So, so I again, going back to your bike, I'm glad you're finding a new hobby. Maybe one of these days I'll be brave enough to get back on a motorcycle, and we'll go from there. But yeah, kudos to you, man, on your bike purchase.
You ever
Yeah,
take it on some sweet jumps?
I knew you were going to talk about your bike because you've been infatuated lately. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to prep him. I'm going to get him all set up. So
Some sweet jumps. Yeah, I've do speed bumps count? You can actually get some air off of speed bump, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you're gonna die. All right, people didn't tune in to hear my audio clips. Let's see what we got going on.
Well,
let me see. Let me see here.
Let's talk about you. You also obviously you had 3 days off. I think you may have had more time for as much computer skills that you've been brushing up on. What did you do this last Memorial Day weekend?
Took my Nissan or my Nismo Frontier up to Marfa, Texas, highest elevation that you can get in Texas, which is not saying much. So we'll call it a mini mountain. Right? So I took it up to Marfa, which is where all the New Yorkers go fly into to become Texans for the weekend. So yeah, a lot of it's supposed to be art and stuff out there, but there ain't much out there. Low cell service. But there's a couple like mountain passes that you can go that run along the Mexican border. So I through the family in Marfa, in the Frontier, we drove up there to the middle of Marfa and just kind of took a weekend. Just went a little off-roading adventure. Stayed in a hotel out there. Man, it's a weird place. Like I won't give you too much history on it, but a really big art guy went out there years ago from New York, bought half the city for like $5 in 1970 something. And you go now and it's like all these like new, I don't want to talk too much trash, but I'm just saying it's like a lot of young kids go there with a freshly, a brand new printed paper diploma from art college, and they just have the aspirations that some type of poster with glitter on top of it's going to sell for like $40,000. It's insane. It's like every time I go there, it's like it's constant flip and constant turnover on like brick and mortar there. But one thing I do say about it, I mean, the ambiance, the atmosphere is really quiet, just relaxing. But if anybody gets a chance to go up there and make that run, I would say do that. The city's pretty cool for chilling out for about a day. Overpriced food. Because it's literally in the middle of nowhere. And, they got UFO sightings that kind of happen out there. So, yeah, a lot of odd folk. But anyway, needless to say, I did that and ran along the Mexican border for a little while and had a good time with that. So it was pretty fun. But
you boys like Mexico? Yeah!
I was gonna say, man, that's a nice little drive, and especially for the truck. That's pretty deep West Texas. I mean, you are definitely close to Mexico. I mean, you're literally one gas station away from Mexico.
Yeah, you're right there, man. I mean, Big Bend. If you ever get a chance, for any of our off-roaders or Outlander folks, and with the Xters, the Frontiers, the Nismos, and even the old Pathfinders, I mean, that is a route. Get your ass down to Big Bend, and take the drive. It literally, the scenery changes like 2 or 3 times. It's fun to get out there, just sleep under the stars. Couldn't recommend it more. Maybe we'll put together some kind of Nissan drive out there, maybe to Marfa, Texas one of these days, just so people can experience it. But I don't know.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, you seem to be the connoisseur of everything Marfa now. So
bad small Texas towns. Yeah, I'm that guy. So I'm your man.
You're the man.
I am the man. But we got a lot of news to cover today, unless you got something else.
I do want to definitely acknowledge those of you that are on social media right now. We are streaming live through Facebook, and we've got a few comments here from those that are watching. We've got one I'll share from Caleb. Says Marfa is the new hip spot.
And Caleb with a beard like that coming in all salt and pepper. He is starting to come very hip. So he knows hip.
He knows hip.
My friend Caleb is the man with hip now. So yes, that is confirmed. So.
Ion says, did you see any of the lights? Maybe UFOs, something like that. It's out West Texas. You're getting close to New Mexico at that point.
I saw a bunch of people staring up in the sky, and then I just kind of thought to myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be standing up looking at the lights for 4 hours while I was like, I got other stuff to do. I got hills to jump.
Some sweet jumps. All right.
Sweet jumps. Oh, yeah. I should have that ready.
That's all good. That's all good. Well, tell you what, man, let's go ahead and get this thing started. But before we do, of course, we'd like to do something which, if you've got something in front of you, Miles, I'll lead the salutes this episode. For those in the Nissan family that we wish you good health, and for the ones that we've loved and lost along the way, may we be reminded of them often. So, kanpai.
Oh,
clink.
Pretty good little stick. They all have 2 beers tonight. Bird can't fly just on one wing. So let's do that.
All right, man. So we're getting into news. I think
so we got a little bit of news that I wanted to kind of talk about here. You and I haven't really we stayed off that whole Ghosn story for a while. I don't think we've even touched it in about 3 or 4 months because, quite honestly, it's already caused enough damage, and we definitely don't want to promote what's going on. But we do have to give a little bit of news and an update on what's happening. But some serious news has kind of come along the way. I mean, this Ghosn story has been coming around for a while now. One thing I wanted to mention was there's been some updates with it, actually. So in recent news, for those that don't know, and obviously it's pretty impossible not to follow, Ghosn did get a little bit in trouble. Apparently, there's 2 sides of this story that are still currently unfolding at this time. But I think it was. I'm going to go and give you a little bit of a history lesson, very, very brief. But in November of 2018, in Tokyo. It started with Ghosn being arrested as he was arriving into Tokyo and put on trial in Japan. He was, from what I remember here, released on bond, and then from there escaped in a, what are we going to call this, a musical chest piece of equipment?
Yeah, that's about right.
And currently where he has escaped with the help of unfortunately, two American individuals, and then made his way into Lebanon where there is no extradition for Japan. So, and then from there he got lawyered up, and then it's just been waiting these trials that were coming. The first of many, which this is going to be unfortunately a long battle, has actually finally completed. This one was on Thursday. The Ghosn defense, they suffered a setback on their side, but they were forced to repay 5 million euros, that's $6.1 million in wages, back to Nissan Mitsubishi. For those that don't know, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Renault have what is known as, some people are calling it the Alliance. There was, the rumors are that Ghosn stated that he was being ousted after this alliance was taken into account, and or merged together, and then he was ousted. And then there was another situation where they're saying that money was stolen. It's getting very he said, she said at this point. It's getting very a lot of mudslinging, and it's not going to be pretty. And unfortunately, I think this thing is going to go on for a lot longer. Now, the real tragedy in all this is the amount of suffering that's kind of happened on a financial level with Nissan, even Mitsubishi and Renault. All 3 companies have taken a really bad financial hit. And then this was precursor to COVID. So it hasn't been the greatest of experiences for all the parties involved. But currently right now, Nissan is at least getting awarded on paper with a payback of $6 million back from Ghosn. But the losses that Nissan and the other companies have suffered to this point are way, way more vast than that. So it's, yeah.
they get some money back in their pocket. It seems like. I mean, $6 million. I mean, for guys like us, that's definitely a great amount. I know for business wise, hey, I mean, every little bit helps. I mean, I think what what really got me about this article was that uh, this verdict was the result of a case that was started by Ghosn. Ghosn and was the first person to go after Nissan regarding
Correct.
this
Through the
claim that he
Dutch
had.
court system. Yeah, correct. So
And then the judges come back and they say, you know what, you're actually wrong. And so, like, congratulations, you played yourself. You know, so
yeah, and it could be, you know, the problem that comes in with this is when you could start seeing a precedent set. So next thing you know, there could be, you know, punitive damages, which are unmeasurable at this point. I'm assuming some parties are. I would assume he would declare bankruptcy at that point to protect assets, and then go from there. I'm not going to get into too much legal action because this has been so crazy. It's hard to figure out which way is going to go, which way the coin's going to land. But you know, kind of getting back to it, it's an unfortunate series of events. But one thing that I did want to mention, I've mentioned this once or twice, is that with Nissan in this position pre-COVID, it actually kind of put them against the wall to make these changes, make these cost cutbacks that would put them in a better financial position when this all panned out.
yeah.
I was actually reading, I was actually on the 1 hour fiscal call for the end of the quarter with Nissan. I was watching it basically when it was happening in Japan, and the CEO was talking about how they're doing as a company. They actually showed it. A lot of people think that Nissan wasn't doing that great, not selling a lot of cars, but they showed an 18% growth over the last quarter.
Yeah.
And with everything, and I think they're being very smart and they're playing their cards very close. Because you and I both know that we're going to start seeing a lot of new models come out, a lot of new innovations that are starting to slowly trickle out, like the Pro Pilot program.
Yep.
I mean, there's stuff that's coming out. I think it's just you know, they have to kind of watch the dollars a little bit, maybe for the next few years, as most companies are right now. They were also talking about the was it the semiconductor shortage that they had,
Yeah.
and they were talking about like how it really affected the auto manufacturer demographic, or the market, but they were saying it vastly interrupted the other industries that are sharing those semiconductors in their own products. So not only were they showing a delivery failure, these other companies were too as well. But they talked about their delivery system within a certain span was like 50 or something delivery units, and then it got ramped up to 5,000. And the company that also suffered a tragedy, I think they had a fire or something, and they were like the main distributor for the semiconductors in the world. They actually jumped back on target. So now they're saying that shortage should be taken care of pretty quickly. So yeah.
Very, very nice, man. Yeah, you're right, though, man. If it's not one thing, it's another. You said it started with Ghosn, it seemed, and then COVID hit. And then now, as a result of COVID, numerous things, materials are being shorted, which is causing another crisis for having these constraints in materials. You know, it's really difficult to pump vehicles out the factory doors without these materials. But I think, I mean, I think Nissan's been doing pretty well. I mean, just like you said, not only are they releasing these new models and new features, but they already have too. I mean, the last 2 years has been Nissan releasing a number of models. I mean, they just did a refresh on what is it, the Titan, and then you also have the Pathfinder and Frontier also getting not only from a exterior perspective, you know, a refresh, but also new drivetrains and updated drivetrains. And I mean, of course, we can't forget about the Z too. So, I mean, despite all the hardships that have come within the last year and a half, I think they're still doing pretty well.
Yeah. So, a little sad news for old Ghosn. Yeah. Dig in your wallet, baby. 6.1 billion. Let's do it. So that's the news that I've got here today. Anything that you want to cover today?
I do want to make up. I have an article for you, Wells, and let me set up my screen here. Let's see what we got. All right, so for what I want to talk about was actually something I found on Car and Driver. Was it just last week? There is a Nissan dealership that is offering 99-cent leases on the Nissan Leaf EV, and now, of course, this comes with the purchase. If you buy a Titan, you get this deal, 99 cents lease.
That's too sweet of a deal. There's going to be something. What's going on?
Well, right. Well, check this out. It does, and I agree. I mean, we'll get into that in a second here too. But it's a lease, so you're not just getting a car. It's a 2-year, 10,000 mile per year lease. They're saying here that there are minus fees. Let's say here. Hart Nissan in Springfield, Virginia is offering buyers of a 2020 or 2021 Titan this 2-year lease of the Nissan Leaf, 99 cents with no fees, and there are also no monthly fees either. So it sounds pretty nice. I mean, of course, trucks in general are gas. You know, they consume some of the most gas of all vehicles. So to get a little sidecar that's all electric, it kind of balances your average, kind of gives you some peace at the gas pump. So that sounds kind of nice. Now, I think we all know that these types of promotions are sort of like, would you say that they're gimmicky, Miles, or are they a big deal? Yeah.
About it, right? Any advertising is you know, there's no bad advertising, I suppose. I mean, we are, we're talking about it. It's got to show some type of increase. It obviously put them on the map for something. So,
yeah. And so I was really trying to figure out why were they doing this. Now, this dealership again is near Washington D.C. area. So if you are in the Washington D.C. area, guys, and you're looking for a deal, granted, you're gonna have to pony up and get a new Titan. But I mean, hey, the deal behind if you were looking for one anyway, you might as well have some fun with the Leaf. For 99 cents.
So, yeah.
What was that?
Shut up and take my money.
Well, there's going to be somebody there showing up. So
yeah. There was a deal. I from what I saw from it, though, it reminded me of two things. One is just this is not the first time any Nissan dealership has done something like this. Wasn't there? And I'm not sure if you remember this. And for those of you that are online, maybe you'll remember this too. Wasn't there a deal similar to this with the Nissan Rogue? Because the Rogue is one of the biggest breadwinners of the Nissan, annual reports.
Come on, now it's the flagship car. Everybody knows that. As they sell any other model. So, but no, I don't recall anything. I mean, if anybody remembers anything, post it up. We'll go from there. But I would think if you've got a two-part family, that makes sense. So
you got two families. You got a dual life going on here.
Well, maybe if you're like, I don't know, a 9-year-old kid and you have 2 Christmases because your parents got divorced. But is that wrong? Too soon?
No.
I think it's perfect.
Perfect.
No, I mean, needless to say, like if you have, say for instance, you and your significant other, one of you wants to take the truck or utilize the other. I mean, for a family, it actually might work out where you're looking for 2 cars. You replace the entire, mobile department of your house. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't work out. That's actually not too bad of a deal. So.
Not bad. So after reading the Car and Driver article, I did some searching on Google to see what other dealerships are randomly offering a buy one get one type of sale. There was a Sutherland Nissan out of Orlando that's doing the same thing. If you buy an all new Rogue, you can get a Nissan Sentra buy one get one. This is just like they said with Car and Driver, though, it is a 24-month lease with 0 down. So it seems like the trend that I see behind these two articles, though, is that they're 2020 year models. Granted, we're almost halfway through 2021, so I think they're just trying to liquidate some old inventory. All
right, I think we're nerding out too much on this one, but I think you have a point. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like you said, guilty as charged, though, man. But like as you said in the last article with the silicon conductor shortages, you would think that 2020 year model vehicles shouldn't be that hard to sell. But it seems like these type of promotions are just one more deal that dealerships are giving to kind of sweeten the pot. So that was what I wanted to highlight anyway. Just something I had seen through the Car and Driver again, and what can I say? It's a slow news week, man.
I know, right? I feel like we're grasping a shield, and then the dog ate it and went home. It's like, oh my God. So anyway, so we got more news to cover here today. Let's see here. That ends our news. We do have something kind of cool to talk about. Z-Watch.
Dun dun dun.
I forgot about that.
Do we have something? What do we have?
We have a dun dun dun. Do we have a dun dun dun? Do we have it in the budget? I think I do have a dun dun dun.
I'm waiting on it. What do you got?
Oh, sorry.
I don't have to make the noise anymore. Awesome.
You don't have to make the noise. So I even have the nerd song if we want to get crazy with it. So, but go ahead, hit him. So
that nerd song is going to be like, when you have an Oscar speech that runs too long and then the symphony plays in the background.
Yeah.
It's
oh my God, I picked the wrong one. So this is the wrong one.
No one likes you.
Okay, the wrong nerd song, but go ahead.
All right, so this is a segment that we like to call Z-Watch. Obviously, the next generation Z car is on everybody's mind as a Nissan enthusiast. Want to give you the latest update that we've seen within the last 2 weeks. And so the first feature that we have here regarding the Z car is Z sightings. So within the last 2 weeks, there have been sightings in Colorado, and this video here is out of Arizona. This is essentially the Z car just going through its trials on actual roads, So
Arizona? That's where they spotted this?
This one was in Arizona. Yeah. Look at those mountains. I mean, that's a little hard to not tell, but
doesn't every state have mountains? Just kidding.
Nah. Yeah. But I'm going to just I'm just going to let this run a little bit here too. But Arizona, we know that Nissan has a test facility out near Phoenix, so that kind of makes sense that you would see this car in Arizona. Arizona is obviously a desert. That's one of the major tests that they're conducting out there. So,
yeah, I mean, you and I you made there was a Z-Con that we did years ago in
2012.
Yeah, and they were testing out. They took us through the test grounds. They have the salt baths and the uneven roads, and they actually take sections of roads from different parts of the country, and they actually implant them on a section of roads so they can test all the harmonics of the vehicle, all the shakes, and how the suspension is going to take all that. I mean, it's insane. Like, they really think of a lot. Then they have that high bank turn that you and I had an opportunity to go up on. That was
a hell of an experience. That was awesome. Yes, there's a high-speed ring, and for those who attended ZCon 2012 in Phoenix, we're in for a treat. I had a time of my life. Yeah, talking about looking to your left and you see clouds, and look to your right and it's nothing but ground. That bank turn and the high-speed ring. Oh,
well, the craziest thing is, like, you're on a high bank turn. They let you, and they pretty much just let you go out. I mean, granted, it was probably the last time they'll let us go out.
It's probably the last time we're gonna let anybody do that. Yeah,
like, you're doing a high bank turn, and your natural instinct is to turn right into we'll put the guardrail, the high bank, and the guardrails on your left. Your natural instinct is to turn right, but you actually turn left, like into the guardrail, and that's the only thing that keeps you up on that wall is turning slightly into the guardrail. It's a very unnerving and unnatural portion of driving, or just a response to driving. But again, it's just, you will never know that until you actually get up there and drive on that.
Still much to learn, you have.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, exciting though that they found, man. That was pretty interesting that they found it on the internet like that. So But
Absolutely. Now I have two more developments for you, Miles, regarding Z-Watch. Dun dun dun.
oh man,
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what.
Hit me.
Man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
let's go see what you got, Bo.
Exactly what we're doing. The next development regarding Z-Watch for this week is supposedly, through rumor, again, we should lay that disclaimer out still, aside from that actual video that we saw. The rumor is that the Nissan Z order books will open on November 15th. So what is that, about 5 months from now, give or take? This information that came from according to a Nissan staff member, it's not just a dealer, who was familiar with the project. Orders won't happen until November 15th. So, of course, time will tell whether this is fact or rumor.
I had it pegged for I had it pegged for February of 2022.
Really?
So,
you thought reserve a pre-order list were going to start that far back?
I thought that they were going to put it in and put it on the back burner from what my source told me, but I guess I was totally wrong.
Well, well, and I'm trying to think about when Nissan first debuted this Z Proto, which was I want to say was it October of last year? So pretty much they're spending an entire year kind of milking this Proto.
Yeah, they've been milking it for a minute, so.
Yeah. And the last thing that I have here regarding Z-Watch is more developments. Again, this is also rumor. This is coming from NissanNews.com. NewNissanZ.com. What am I talking about? NewNissanZ.com. Supposedly, retooling is underway at the Tochigi plants. The U.S. production models begin assembly January 3rd of 2022, which means you can start seeing the new Z in showrooms at dealerships in the U.S. beginning as early as March of 2022. So that makes it about 9 months until we can actually.
Congrats to Nissan, man, for getting that done. I didn't think it was going to be that soon.
Wow! Congratulations! Now, just again a disclaimer: this is also rumor, but it's always nice to get some numbers. Supposedly, this came from a dealers meeting in Arizona over the past weekend. So this was released 6 days ago. So for those that are eagerly anticipating the new Z like we are, these are your latest updates. So
so you heard it here second, folks.
That's a good slogan, dude. You heard it here second.
So these are the hottest rumors that we got at the moment. So yeah, cool. That works out.
Oh yeah. So from those of you on social media that are interacting with us, thank you for doing so, and we look forward to keep on coming here.
Man, we've been getting blown up here. Let's go through.
We have. So from Randall, 2 words: test drives. That's what he's waiting on. New Z car.
Randall is a roadster only kind of guy, so they got to chop the roof off of it for Randall. So
you think so? Yeah.
He likes everybody to see him, you know. He's a hair in the wind kind of fella. So yeah.
From Ion, just earlier we were talking about Z-Con Phoenix 2012. That was his first Z-Con, so he was something that he was always proud of. And to think about it, it's almost been 10 years since that test track, that experience that we had.
That's the hottest Z-Con I've ever been to. It was
in August too. The hottest month.
It's the desert, right? Yeah. So
yes.
Who would have known? No warning. So
no warning whatsoever.
Nobody told us it was desert. Unprepared. That was interesting. But yeah, great Z-Con. Lots of good friends. Lots of good memories. They actually did the Project 370Z release. We're gonna nerd out about that, but yeah, Project 370Z release was that year. That's the first year I got to meet Randy Rodriguez, one of the designers for the 370Z.
He designed 370Z. That's right.
We're gonna nerd out, aren't we? So.
Well, I did want to give a side note here. Getting back just for a second regarding these websites, we're looking here at NewNissanZ.com. Now, I also went and searched through other websites called 400zclub.com, nissanzclub.com, new Nissan Z. I haven't seen this type of competition with forums and websites in a long time. It always seems everything's going to social media, things like Facebook and Instagram. And here we are, there seems to be some multiple websites that are really trying to lay claim to the 400Z and the online support.
URLs were bought out the first day that proto dropped. I know for a fact because I was actually hunting for them. But yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff because the 400Z, the 380, the 390, they're all bought and paid for already. But yeah, they're just calling it the new Z, which, I mean, it's cool, but it's like I really think it should deserve a tagline like to me. As a Nissan enthusiast, I would have expected a 380, 390, 400, something like that. But I don't know. But
yeah.
I'm just going to call it the new Z, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I remember when the 350 and 370 came out, wasn't it like 350z.com or the 350 or the 370.com? Dude, there you go. You should go. You should just go buy the 400z.com, see what happens. It's just like Dogecoin. You might win, you might lose. I mean,
Check out the big brain on Brad.
I'll not lose. I'll not have all my financial advice given from you. But yeah, sure, why not? But,
yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, sure, not. But yeah, no, it's a cool idea. Yeah, I'm super enthusiastic about the new Z. It's coming out. I was actually talking to Damon Circlin from TT.net. For those that don't know, the Z32 mecca of websites, been around for 20 years, probably something like that now. And they were talking about, hey, if the new Z comes out, it'll technically be a twin turbo model. TT.net. And I was just like, so I was joking with him. I was like, man, he really needs to keep that original forum layout. But I'm not going to go into too much because that's definitely an elitist group of just certain people for just that vehicle. So I'm not going to nerd out.
You don't want to anger the gods, the Z32.
I do not want to anger the car gods. But yeah, I mean, you're right. So yeah, we're leading too much. Let's talk. We got a bunch of other news that we got to cover here tonight. So
one last thing here, we had a question. Is this the first time we've had an actual question like this from Randall? He goes, "What are our opinions on Nissan reusing the 300Z name? If they did, what would it be like? What for me?" Now, is that a trick question? Because 300Z never existed. There was 300ZX. Me loving the 300ZX so much, I think I would just leave it be personally. I just hope the new model is just called Z. Personally, I'm simple and effective.
It better be one hell of a car. I'll say that. If it's going to be just the Nissan Z, that's all I'm going to say. So I said it here. So.
You hit it here second, folks.
Yeah. Just be called the Z, and there'll never be a Z after it. It's like, come on, guys. It's like let's follow the livery. Let's go from there. So yeah.
Right. Okay, so we do need to move on, Miles. Just like you said, we've been
all 27. Sean Buck goes, "We're the only ones who like that forum design." He goes, "All 27 of us that are left." So it's true. We're elitists.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, you are right, though. Let's go ahead and get into our next segment, Miles, which we like to call Motorsports Updates.
Wow.
And I think you have the first segment here.
Yeah, so, in motorsports right now, Japan, at least on the Japan front, is a little slow because, quite honestly, they're going through their second wave of COVID. So a lot of motorsports in Japan are really shut down. Super GT obviously shut down for the last round of GT. No update. We were expecting this. Like we talked about last time in one of our previous articles.
Mm-hmm.
They had talked a little bit about what was happening in Japan. Nismo is doing a little bit to. Let me see here. Can you see my screen there, Mikey?
Mikey, yeah. There you go.
So this was a promotional video. This is the last video that really Nissan has put out. And it's just kind of talking about everything that they're doing right now. This was before the last round, actually before it got
Super
nixed.
GT, right?
Yeah, Super GT. They were just kind of talking about the models that were out, showing out the Leaf race car with the Nissan, Nissan Intelligent Mobility stuff. So yeah, I mean, they're trying their best to make sure that people don't remember that this is going to start back up here soon. But they were talking about all the sweet merch those guys have. That's one thing I would kill for at a GT event. I mean, just all the stuff that they had that you can get in Japan is just so much more at a different level. And
I agree. I think
That's
the
sweet.
half my time at Fuji Speedway was at the market that's on the backside of the pits, man. Just looking at car models and stickers and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's currently what's happening right now. I mean, there's not too much going on. I mean, everything is pretty much down. As soon as we have an update to give you on GT, we can. Our best wishes go out to everybody in Japan. I hope this thing gets past them sooner than later. They've been doing really good with COVID response in Japan, so I see positively that this should not take too long. Hopefully, if everything's said and done. So yeah.
Very, very cool, Miles. Next up, I've got a little bit of a report for Formula E. Nissan's EDAMS team, obviously battling it out for points this season. I'm going to share my screen and go ahead and just kind of let this run in the background. Let me see. So, yeah, is it working? Yeah, there you go. So, Miles, similar to what's happening in Super GT in these last couple of weeks, within the last 2 weeks, there has not been a Formula E race. Now, it has nothing to do with COVID or anything. It's just part of the schedule at the point right now. The next round isn't until June 19th and 20th. Rounds 8 and 9 are happening in Mexico. So we are about 2 weeks away from those rounds. So we'll go ahead and I think, what does that mean? So by this time, our next episode, we should have an update for you guys.
So it'll be in Mexico this time around?
Yes, it will.
Oh.
Puebla, Mexico.
You boys like Mexico?
Well, good. I can't wait, actually. So that'd be one hell of a race, man. I really have enjoyed the season so far. Nissan's had a good undertaking, as to be expected. I was hoping for a little bit more, and there's so much to the sport. It's just so different. It's so similar, but so different from Formula One. So yeah, and all the other Formula specs. So yeah.
It is. Just to let people know where Nissan currently stands, by the way, there are two drivers, Oliver Rowland and Sebastian Buemi. Rowland's in 9th place as a driver. Buemi's in 22nd. Out of the, I think there's 24 drivers. Nissan as a constructor is currently 9th right now. However, don't let that be discouraging for you, because there's only 9 points that separate Nissan from becoming 5th place. It's a very, very close competition happening right now as a constructor. And good news, Miles. This is actually something that I just discovered today. So initially in the last episode, we had said that after these 2 rounds in Mexico, there's only I think two more races. I think there was some in New York. We mentioned New York. Since then, these last 2 weeks, Formula E has added 4 more rounds to their 2021 season. They're doing 2 races back-to-back in London, and they've also added 2 races back-to-back in Berlin, Germany. So it definitely gives Nissan an opportunity to, finish on the podium as a constructor. So it definitely gives us more hope. And, if they've added 4 rounds midway through the season like this, there could be even more rounds coming their way. So, fingers crossed. It definitely gives me.
So yeah, that's awesome that they're adding on to try to finish out a strong season. So yeah, I wish we would see that a little bit more in other motorsports. I'm not sure if that's happening, but yeah, that sounds like a really cool initiative. So, but we got other news to cover too. We also got to go over the upcoming one that you and I have been talking a lot about the new Central Cup series, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Century Cup Series. Getting into it here, giving you an update. This is, let's see here. Now, last time we talked about this, there was a revised calendar that had just come out during our last episode. Nothing new to report this episode. However, we are definitely looking forward. June 25th through June 27th is the first round of this 2021 Century Cup. It's taking place in Shannonville Motorsports Park. This is all. This league is all headquartered out of Canada. So this is all in the Canadian area. So if you're in Canada and you're near these areas, feel free to check them out. So far, we're looking at 6 rounds, and we'll go from there to see if they add more as well.
And the PR for this cup is actually blowing up. I've been following it as of recent, and they're getting out there. I hope that Nissan actually gets behind it and actually gives it a little more of a boost. But I mean, right now, they're doing really good. I'm really interested to see how this all plays out as far as from a marketing campaign, and see if there's going to be enough support there to continue on with that. I can't see this going anywhere but up. But yeah, kudos to all these folks that are putting this together. We've had the link on our website for a while. Check them out, support it, follow it, because we're definitely going to be giving you updates as the season continues on. So
I'm definitely learning more about it too. So it's been a lot of fun for sure.
We're going to cover this thing as much as we possibly can as it starts to unfold. So yeah, should be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah. Taking a minute just before we move over to our next segment, Miles. Again, from you guys online, want to share some of y'all's comments. We've got here from Sean Buck. He says, Century Cup, let's get a Z Cup. All models with each other. That should be fun. Now, there is a Spec Z program.
Yeah.
However, it's all, I think at the time it was all 350Z. To have just all Z generations.
Yeah, just remember that. Look at you. Kudos. You get an official for that one. Yeah, Spec Z came out for a while back. Died, unfortunately. Had a short shelf life, but maybe one of these days we'll see it come back again. So especially with the new Z, I don't know, man. I really think if we were going to see a spec class come back, if it's ever going to happen, it's going to happen with the new Z. I would see that maybe happening into 2022, 2023. If we hear an announcement on that, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. That's something I wanted to mention too, just kind of off the cuff here, man. I saw something regarding a different vehicle that it was a I'll just say it, man. It's the GR86, the new 86 that Toyota's given out. They're actually including a track day with every purchase of a car. So if you buy one of their cars, they give you a track day with the car. Nissan should listen to that and also provide a track day with their car. That would definitely get enthusiasts. I mean, it's a little drop in the bucket money-wise, dollar-wise. What is it? You're probably paying $300 to $500 for that track day as a dealer. You could probably get a hell of a discount, just use your leverage. But for those who are buying those cars, that's a nice little cherry on top. So just an idea, man. I'm glad you mentioned that.
No, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. It's just like when stuff like those things happen on a different manufacturer level, you really got to pay attention, or otherwise.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Jesus, man.
Let's see here. We have more to cover here. I wanted to take a little time. We haven't done one of these for a while. Wanted to actually show a feature car. Sometimes we find a car that that kind of both raises an eyebrow for the two of us. This episode, or this time, it's actually going to be a really cool R32 that we found through Speed Hunters. We'll actually put the link up here on the website when we're done, or on the podcast notes here when we're done. But this R32 is a little bit different from others in some respects. Now, this one is from a new company that started out of Japan, and It's called Built by Legends, and they do what is known as a resto mod. Now, we've all heard that before, and we actually talked a little bit about what Nissan was doing for restoring the R32s in Japan, and we talked about the price tag for those, which was a hefty price tag with the certification from Nissan itself. This is a little bit different, similar but different. So with Built by Legends, what they do is they actually pick all the high-end um, part manufacturers and developers in Japan for that model, and they basically farm everything out for you. So the car really jumps from shop to shop for the best of the best. On that list is some of the best ones that some of the best shops that you could possibly utilize in the game in Japan. So these are the folks from the two developers from Built by Legends, or the two owners are actually some of the parties from Best Motoring and Hot Version, if you remember those. And those were what really kicked off the whole import fad, really. It really gave life to it many, many years ago. We're talking pre-Fast and Furious days. So, before the hype really busted out on that. So what they're doing is they're offering an opportunity for you to actually utilize their services, and they farm out everything. So Mines is on that list to name drop just one. Some of the other ones that kind of come into play are even bigger with, let me see here if I remember a few more of them. And there was a handful. I mean, there's so many. Garage Yoshida, which is really big in Japan. They do a lot of the minimalist details. At least on this one, a lot of the body shop details. I mean, as you'll see right here, these wing options with the carbon fiber. I mean, these guys really went down to even changing out motors on wipers for the R34 versions versus the R32s. I mean, it got nerded out to so much, to an aspect that they even mentioned it on the article. In Japan, they call it being otaku, which is basically our version of like being completely obsessed with something.
A geek. It's a nerd. It's a nerd, man.
Nerd. Otaku's nerd.
Right? I think it's geek, but yeah.
Right, geek, yeah. So they really took the effort to really do all the details. I mean, that we're talking from paint to body stiffening and chassis reinforcement. They even did it by Legends R32, which is a name amongst itself. But the entire base of it coming in at $380,000 US.
I was just thinking about it. Taking that number, obviously it is a large amount. However, when you think about, we reported that Nismo was actually doing restoration programs of Skylines, the same generation. Their price point was $432,000. So you're saving $50,000 by going with these guys. So talk about a bargain. You're
getting. Now, if a badge means a lot to you, I mean, it depends. Do you want the badge from the manufacturer? Do you want the badge for this? And you also wonder how much of it is outsourced, because you know that Nismo actually works with some of these companies. Mines, I know that they've worked with them in the past on a few aspects, but I mean, cool stuff. I mean, look at the interior. From what I was reading about in this article, some of the interior is made by the same company that actually works on some of the Japanese bullet trains. So,
oh wow,
it's crazy, just how much detail and effort that they put into this car. I mean, you're getting all the fun little quirks and details. I mean, there's so much like little details that you wouldn't even know unless you own the car and went back into it. I mean, you're getting new keys. You're getting, I mean, it's insane. But I mean, it's a hefty price tag. But
yeah.
Again, this is why we wanted to feature this car. Just one of those details. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this when it comes to R32s. This is just an excellent representation of what a full resto mod would be. I mean, look at that.
There's two things I want to mention about this article that really caught my eye, that I liked about this article, which was the editor had said that they called this minimalist perfection. And I like that phrase. That's really, really cool. I identify with that. It's function. It's functional and clean. I'm sold on that alone. The second thing is that you look at these pictures and the color, a white skyline. You think, I mean, to the untrained eye, you would think this is a stock paint job, but it's not. This is actually a custom paint job, and I'm going to get the name of it here. The skyline exterior here is a custom color called Shiranami White Pearl Metallic, and I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but it's a pearl white. So if you're thinking this is a stock color, it's not. So I mean, as clean as this car is, I would assume this is a would you call it a rotisserie restoration at this point? I mean,
I would assume for that price, it's going to go up in the air. It's going to go upside down. So yeah, and not so
as clean as it is, custom color, pearl. I'm sold.
Sure,
I mean, if I had the money, I would.
So yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was truly impressed with it. I mean, they even ghosted in like the Mines stripes that we know and love from way back. I mean, there's so many small details in something like this, but this kind of goes back to it. Yeah, there's a high price point for this, and people can pull this off themselves, but there's also a certain level of detail and finish that goes into something like this that we can all take an appreciation for. So yeah, again, this both caught me and Mike's eye. I absolutely love the car. Speed Hunters did a great article on it, and it's all from people just like us, nerds, otakus just like ourselves. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Great article, man. That's a great feature, man. I'm glad you found this one too. Speed Hunters always has some great articles, and their photography is wonderful. You can tell from the background here. This is not a U.S. car. This car is definitely, they've got somebody on their team that's out of Japan, or they're making trips no matter what it is.
Yep. Yeah. Kudos to them, and kudos for pulling off a great build. If you've got the means, if you have the means, it is choice.
It is choice.
One of those days. So
perfect.
All right. What else do we got to cover today, Mike?
Moving on, Miles. I got a quick one for you. This came across actually my Facebook feed, caught my eye. There's always some sort of novelty or trinket that you can buy online. I brush over a lot of them, except for when I saw this one. So I wanted to share it with you. It's a segment that I'm calling "Shut Up and Take My Money." So
shut up and take my money.
Go on.
This one here, I'm going to share my screen, is from Brock Racing Enterprises. BRE2.net is where you can find this. If you go into their, let's call it their e-store, their online shop, they just released the hat lapel pins that are in essentially decals of their 510s, Racing Edition 510s, and also the 240Zs. You can see here, I'll go ahead and just scroll through this slowly here, but you've got the BRE number 85 510, the number 68 as well. What else we got here? 510 lapel hat pin with case. That seems to be pretty choice.
I'll go down.
The 240Z coming down. And then they're also, I kind of feel like they're able to repurpose these things and make earrings out of them too.
I mean, I can make a nipple ring out of these if we're going to go that route. I mean, we could go further south, into lower country.
You boys like Mexico?
Yeah, way south. I mean, you can make a, below the belt type of piercing option. I mean, let's not dive into too much of that. But yeah, needless to say, that's pretty cool. Ion mentioned they have a 3-pack. Oh, they got a multi-pack. We haven't found that yet. Ion nerd. I give Ion for only knowing that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, if these lapel pins are going for about $20 a piece, earrings for the lady, $40. pretty modestly priced, I think, for being as unique as they are. Coming from BRE directly, it's not some knockoff that you would find on eBay like that. And, you know, of course, there's the man himself, Pete Brock. You got drinking glasses. There's a whole selection, though. For those who are interested in BRE merchandise, bre2.net is the place to go. And they have, obviously, a link here that'll take you to their online store. So that's what I wanted to share, man. Again, to BRE, shut up and take my money, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they do make really cool stuff, and I have to give it up for the man himself. He's definitely doing a good job marketing, and you know, we're probably going to see him at ZCon this year. So maybe you get some stuff picked up. Maybe you want to put all your Peter Brock stuff together and have him sign it all this year if you can get a chance to make it to ZCon this year. So
nice ZCon plug. You're right. He is going to be at ZCon. Good choice. Good choice.
You know, I gotta be. I gotta support
the big brain on bread.
I gotta because I'm supporting the brand and supporting the ZCon name. So yeah, kudos to those guys. So
yes, sir.
Moving on, we got more stuff to do. Let's see.
Okay. I think this is the final segment before we start rounding things out here for the night.
Yeah.
Okay, Miles. I brought up this topic to you earlier this week, and it kind of came to me, but I really want us to go deep on this. And of course, I'm talking about back alley chat. And the topic for this episode is, I'll go ahead and throw it out here. I want us to decide whether OEM or aftermarket parts are preferred. Now, here are the rules of the game. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run down a list of parts that eventually wear out or typically wear out during the life of a car or truck. Common wear items. And we are each going to just give our opinion as whether we would go OEM or aftermarket. And when I say aftermarket, I'm not saying performance. I'm talking auto parts store aftermarket. What do they have there? The A1 Cardones, the no name, you know, just something that just gets the job going, or are you doing the upsell and actually driving to a dealership? It's sort of your two choices. You can go option A or option B. Again, OEM or aftermarket. Okay.
I feel like this is going to be a full-on nerd portion.
Dude, this is what I wanted. This is going to be so loaded. I really hope that we can. Like, I really want us to get into it, but at the same time, of course, I want to breeze through it. All right.
Let's do this. Hit me. Let's go.
Last thing. It has to be from the perspective of being a budget-minded street enthusiast. Again, we're being ourselves, but again, we don't. Again, it's our own money.
I'm broke, so go on. Let's go.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and start here, Miles. Starting off the list, let's start with some easy ones. Spark plugs. What are you doing? Where are you going? OEM, aftermarket?
I'm going NGK, baby, every single time, because NGK has always been the plug to utilize for almost every single Nissan, Datsun, Infiniti that's been around forever. I could be wrong, but I can tell you right now, it's always NGK for me. I'm not going
NGK. And that is typically a factory part. Would you say that's factory? Like what would you call that? An aftermarket?
I'm going to call it a factory recommendation, sir, because guess what? If you've never cracked a porcelain on a spark plug, it sucks. It takes forever to figure out until the porcelain actually splits. Or I'm going to say NGK. Ion says Denso, but he doesn't know anything. So yeah. Just kidding. Well, no, Ion might be right too. Sometimes it is right. So yeah.
I think for me, yes, NGK is definitely one.
It's depending on which you cheap out on, man. It's just until you get stuck on where you're trying to diagnose something or can't get something right. It's just I know my gaps are always right. I know that porcelain's not going to crack on me. I know it can take a punch with heat.
Yep.
And I know it's not going to crack. I know it's not some what is it? Autolite.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
I'm not saying Autolite's crap. I'm just saying it doesn't work.
Hey, they're not a sponsor. You can talk crap. That's fine.
Next week, we love Autolite.
Well, what I think, depending on what generation of Z car you have, the factory plug may have been an NGK or Denso. So
Rick
I think
comes in with the Autolite. He said, "I like the way to go. It's gonna be a debacle, man. We're stepping in. We're stepping in one dog poop to step in the next dog poop, and it's just gonna go on. You're opening up a can of worms tonight, baby. But I like what's next. Hit me with the next.
I agree. Next one. Okay, just filters in general. I'm talking oil filters, fuel filters, air filters. Are you doing a OEM or aftermarket? And I'm not saying K&N. Remember, nothing performance oriented. What are you doing?
When I'm standing at the O'Reilly's counter, if I can't get an OEM filter, and sometimes you can't get them because there's no support for it, or you've got to pay $40 for an oil filter because it's OEM. So if I can't get an oil filter and it's getting really old, and I am in a pinch, I'm going to go with a Wix. Okay.
So just to clarify, OEM is your first choice, but you're going aftermarket.
My first choice, but it's not always the availability option, because you could go into a Nissan dealer and it's just like, if I need something, a certain filter, they don't have it, or they want to charge me, hey, I'll have it for you, but it's going to take 6 weeks. I'm like, dude, it's an oil change, bro. Like, so it's like, I have to put the best of the best. And me personally, I'm a Wix guy. WIX, for those that don't know, for the O'Reilly's kid at the front desk, WICKS. I messed with him a little bit.
I'm going to agree. I'm going OEM. I mean, things like filters like this, specifically oil and fuel filters. I mean, they're not so expensive anyway. I'm going to spend the extra couple of bucks and go OEM personally.
I'm going to challenge you, for those that don't know, and if you want to finish this battle out in your own garage, you can do the filter challenge. So buy yourself, what do they call a wrench, or the oil filter. They have a cutter. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like a can opener version. I have one. I forgot what it's called. And you can take it and cut the top off of it, and you can actually pull out the paper element that's in it, because it's always paper, right? And you can actually see how many plies you got in there. And really, it comes down to plies. Sometimes it's the quality of the paper. You hold it up to the sky and you can see through it. And then if you only got 2 pieces of paper, I mean, it's basically just a piece of TP in there that's filtering out all the shaved metal that's filtering through your system. But me personally, going back to it, I'm a Wix guy in a pinch. At the O'Reilly's counter, I'm a Wix guy.
Remember,
OEM if I can find it. So
okay. Again, I'm talking about your number one choice for sure. So I got another one for you. You let me know. Again, OEM or aftermarkets. What are you doing with belts? You got serpentine belts. What are you doing? Are you going O'Reilly, or are you going to the dealer?
I'm probably gonna go O'Reilly on some of that stuff, because I'm gonna take the belt, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna treat that belt with the nice little spit that comes out of the belt dressing can, and I'm gonna dress that sucker, and I'm gonna set it out in the sun, let it cool, and then I'm gonna put that belt on, and it's gonna be. That's it. I mean, a belt is a belt, in my opinion. But
I am.
Go on.
No, I am definitely an aftermarket guy when it comes to belts as well. Now, case in point, I had a 370 at a time. For me, the main reason the main reason why is because of price. An aftermarket belt, you can go from O'Reilly for about, I think I paid like $40. However, you go to a dealership, it was about 2.5 times more, and I was like, nope.
We're talking accessory belts right now. Now, we are going to nerd out just a little bit on that one. But I'm going to say right now, when it comes to timing, I see your check, and I'm going to checkmate you, fool. But timing, we're going to talk it timing belt. I'm not even going to hit you with a chain.
Okay.
Timing belt with my interference engines.
Ooh, belts. OEM. Timing belt's way too critical. I will spend the extra money and go OEM for a timing belt.
One of those things that you didn't want to save the $10 and constantly buy sales for the next 100,000 miles. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, and we're bringing up a number of factors that actually determine. You said obviously price is a factor no matter what our decision is. Availability is another factor. We're talking about how critical the part is. Like you said, timing belt. Again,
you're missing a very crucial part, is how much of a pain in the ass is it to get to? If it's a pain in the butt and I don't want to ever have to see this thing for the life of the car, guess what? I'm going OEM.
OEM. Time.
Yeah. For real. So,
timing belt, OEM. Absolutely. You caught me on that one. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
So
moving on, I got another one for you. Cooling system. Now, these are typically replaced as a pair, and I'm talking about the water pump and thermostat. Are you going to O'Reilly, or are you going to to an auto parts store, or are you going to a dealership when you have to replace a water pump and thermostat?
from the amount of scars on these knuckles from having to do thermostats and water pumps on certain engines that'll remain nameless, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go OEM on both of those because nothing sucks worse than a water pump failure or a thermostat failure. When you're just like, dude, that was $12. It was like sometimes it's nominal. It's like $5 difference, or it's a waiting a day sometimes on part availability. Like, and I'm gonna throw this out there as a story for just those folks that won't know. I won't even give you the engine type. I won't bore you with details, but I picked up an aftermarket oil pump for a friend, water pump, excuse me. And, obviously you have the turbine on the back, you got a bolt, you got a washer, turbine, boom. And that's what circulates all the water for the engine. Well, put it on, guy drove it for about, 6 months, called me all of a sudden. He's like, dude, I'm not getting, the temperatures just keep flowing up on this. We check pressures, check for leaks, leak down. I mean, everything. And I couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting any cooling aspect on it. I mean, we did everything, drained it, did it again, checked for, burped the system. I mean, we did everything. And then I said, you know what, man, we just got to take it all apart. Maybe the thermostat's stuck. I mean, we went with an aftermarket thermostat. And I was thinking it was the aftermarket thermostat. No, thermostat looks good. I was like, it's going to be a water pump failure. So I pulled the water pump. It wasn't seeping out of it. I pulled it off. The nut had walked off, and the turbine, the turbine that's on there was just sitting inside of the engine block right there. So what was happening is you were getting no flow,
circulation, nothing.
That was an aftermarket piece. And the thing is, it's that one guy, you go from an aftermarket company being like, not OEM is going to spec rate their stuff. The guy with the hangover is probably going to be on the aftermarket assembly line, just like, get it done, whatever. I don't care, man. But it's just my opinion, but I don't know. Yeah. But the impeller, Ion had it right. Impeller.
Yep. I have two comments about specifically for water pump as well. Just like how you said, most parts water pump wise from an auto parts store are typically rebuilt, and for many within the Nissan family, Miles, we both know this. Let's just say the VQ motor and the VG motor; those weren't just used exclusively on the Z car. They were used in everything from Maximas with Pathfinders, a whole wide range of family of vehicles. And consequently, those water pumps, although very similar and they have the same mounting points, there's always some minor detail that makes them different. And you don't discover it until after you've installed it. And it might be a misalignment of the belts. It could be just a number of things. And so when you start going, again, like you said, some guys at a factory is just pulling, rebuilding, and slapping a sticker on it. The level of quality just isn't there, or attention.
The other thing too is what I like, and I really appreciate. And I got into the habit of doing this because I learned this from an old mechanic in general. Is marking your bolts and your nuts after you've torque spec them. You mark them, and it'll tell you if something walks out. I mean, we're going to nerd out about a bunch of this stuff. But, my point is things like that you see on an OEM part. You know that it's torqued down to spec. You know that somebody checked it, and they marked it. And it's like I don't know, just sleep better at night. It's like a little kiss on my cheek, before I go to bed, knowing that that's done and it's kind of done the right way. So.
Good point. Last thing here about thermostats, though, just for me personally, I have a 350Z. I had a cooling issue at one point. If you look at a factory thermostat on a VQ motor, factory thermostat versus an aftermarket thermostat, it is night and day with the quality and the number of just the build of that thermostat. I wish I had them in front of me. I would show you,
Well,
but
sometimes it comes down to weight. Like you can pick up a part, like you can pick up, I don't know, like the casting of something. Like if you ever picked up like an aftermarket a water pump, and you pick up an OEM one, there's a weight difference in them, and you're like, why the hell is there a weight difference in them? It's because the casting's either crap, or
Yep.
they just threw whatever the hell they could find to make
Oh,
these casts happen, and sometimes that's the way it is. If you've ever seen, I'm trying to think what cracks on castings, but like
Oh, yeah.
I've seen starter housings, like the old ones, like they'll crack at the housing, and you're just like, you put a little torque on them, and the next thing you know, like this whole assembly broke off, and you're like, why the hell did that break off? Because the cast is crap,
Well,
it's like,
you're right. Even getting back to that water pump, I had replaced 5 water pumps within 3 months. They were all aftermarket, and the crack was happening on the snout of that water pump, and it was just low quality. The second thing you mentioned was the material and weight. I've seen it before. I used to work at auto parts store where you would have they would literally offer you an aluminum housing or a steel housing or iron housing. So it was your option whether or not whatever you wanted, and that goes to show that probably, for example, that iron housing was from a truck, probably from a truck than it is from a car. It just what its past life was. Okay, so moving on. We're getting really deep on cooling. I've got a handful more, so let's go ahead and knock them out.
Keep it going. Let's go.
Clutch kit. Are you going to the dealer or are you going to a parts store?
I mean, come on, we're performance guys. It's hard for me to say I'm going to go with a
maintenance.
I'm going to tell you right now. On a clutch, I'm going to say just get it done. Because quite honestly, pulling a transmission for me is not that big of a deal. I know it sounds weird, but I'm not scared of pulling a transmission into a clutch. It's not that big of a deal. Does that sound egotistical? Does that sound like that guy?
That's not a bad reason. I mean, the reason for me is typically price.
Crap clutch. I mean, I'm not going to use it, but I don't know, man. Wow,
there are
right now.
Yeah, there are a number of really good clutch companies though that do they deal through the aftermarket through the parts stores. Shoot, I mean, even I'll even give you an example though. But sometimes Exity is available at parts stores. I mean, and it's not a performance option. It's strictly their daily driver grade. Right. Good brand.
We're not answering our own questions. So I'm going to go ahead and say aftermarket is okay for me.
Aftermarket's okay with me too. Yeah. All right, moving on here. Brake pads and rotors. Any different?
If the car's not going to see anything special other than, then brake light from red stoplights, I'm going to say aftermarket all day long. But if it's going to be if there's going to be any type of driving on this, I'm usually going to say OEM. Yeah.
Again, if performance is not an option, then would you say that your OEM is sort of like
we're not talking performance?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and just say aftermarket's going to work, unless it's just dog crap. Unless it's like, crap.
At that point, you know what you're going to get. Like I've seen it before. You can go to a parts store and get the $10 pads. You get what you pay for, but you can get a premium aftermarket and you'd be okay.
I will say this: I've had aftermarket pads, and I know the devil that I'm sleeping with when I say that is because the problem is I've had pads that you'll literally just I betted it, it's perfect, and then I'll drive it for like 20 times, and the pad just goes. And it just goes right down. I mean, it's tissue paper. It's just garbage. It's piss. It's just so as soon as you step on it, the pad's gone inside 3 or 6 months. But I'm a guy that does pads once a year, so I'm like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. So
that's true. That's true. Moving on here, alternator and starter, those two electronic components. What are you doing? Are you driving to a dealership or are you driving to a parts store?
I'm gonna go aftermarket on a starter. On an alternator, I'm gonna go OEM because the problem is just if you don't have a good solid alternator that you can trust, it causes so much electrical gremlin issues, especially in the newer stuff. You have these weird lights that'll come on when you're not getting the voltage that you should. It's not regulating the way it should. And then boom, you know, and then it prematurely kills your battery. And you're like, oh, I need a new battery. You put a battery in it. Then the alternator is garbage and it's cooking the battery. And then you're just chasing all these other issues. So it's just the OEM, that output really has to be perfect. When it comes to a starter, it's a kick. I mean, that's really all it is. It's just a kick. So
I can agree with that. Alternator is much more. Alternator is much more critical. I would definitely go with factory. OEM starter. Yeah, I'll give you an example. My 620 needed one. It was actually improved. You know, 1979 was my 620. The technology, even from a aftermarket replacement, they're using permanent magnet starters now. Like, the way that it starts is much more efficient anyway. It's much cleaner. I would definitely go. I have no problem going with an aftermarket starter. Now, I do want to introduce an option C, which I'm going to go for it. This is a wild card. Used OEM. Now, junkyard deals. I'm always looking for a car that's been smashed from behind, and I'm grabbing that alternator. Let's have some maturity, Miles. Not what I'm saying, again, this is just a side note, though. There are always some great deals to be had at your local pick and pull type of place. And if I can find a quality, a tested, I'll even buy the $5 warranty and go get it tested down the street.
Yeah,
I'll get a used OEM. All right, so Miles, I got two more for you, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Okay?
Let's go. Come on.
Next one here. Let's go with body parts, fenders, bumper covers, etc. Are you going to the dealership, or are you going to a body shop or a body store?
I feel like you set that one up for me because you know that my old expertise was body shop and part.
I kind of did. Yeah. You would have a lot of information
I'm not going to nerd out too much on it. I'm trying to keep it quick, but there is a difference when it comes to body parts that are out there. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever get in an accident or a little fender bender or a punch with your car, you want to try to find, it's okay to utilize OEM and some aftermarket stuff, but the aftermarket stuff, especially when we're talking fenders, front bumpers, hoods, you're looking for something called CAPA, C-A-P-A. Now, CAPA certification on a part tells you that, for one, it's been crash tested, and if it's been crash tested, means that it's also been scrutinized for fit and finish. So usually what that's going to come into play is you'll have something that's CAPA certified, which means that they usually took a little more time to kind of put it together. They didn't just stamp it and slap it in a box and send it. They had to actually make sure that it would take a punch at a certain speed rating. Usually they do like 30 and 50 mile per hour impacts, if I remember correctly. Okay. So that's the crash rating for those. Now, it's all about availability these days, because CAPA certification will eventually fall off for stuff. The Datsun 240Z, to give you an example, or the S30 body is a great example of that. So there's a lot of aftermarket fenders that are available, for example, but they don't really give you a CAPA certification for that stuff. It's just a fender. It's just a hood. It's just this piece. So the CAPA certification isn't there, so therefore the quality usually kind of falls off. Now, if you ever get a chance and you need parts, you may not be able to find OEM stuff because it's just not available anymore. Like the supporting market for the Z31 stuff, it's not there. Z32 stuff, it's not there anymore. 350Z is going away. All that 350Z OEM stuff, Nissan ain't stamping that stuff anymore. It's done. They're not trying to fill those orders anymore. So the aftermarket companies, like companies that you want big, like Keystone, it's a major manufacturer of aftermarket stuff. You hope that they'll do it, but at a certain point, if they're not selling enough, they drop it to the next lowest denominator, which is like Cardone and those guys, and they start taking it over. So you're hoping that quality is going to be there at some point, and then it kicks out to Primex or third world countries, and then that's why you're getting these fenders that just when you put them on, they're just kind of They look like they had a stroke. They just don't fit right. They sit sideways. So I didn't mean to nerd out on this, but I tell my fellow Datsun Nissan enthusiasts out there, coming from an ex-insurance person and an ex-body person that was in that world, you always want to try to find, if you can, an OEM part, or if you're going with an aftermarket, give it a chance. The aftermarket stuff is good as long as it's a Kappa part or it's a non-essential piece. And then if you can't, go LKQ. LKQ is basically like kind quality. It basically means it's a used part. If you can find it, grab it. So just a little a lesson on what you're going to see in the world of parts. If you're out there, you're trying to restore a project, that little tidbit of information is probably going to save you a lot of heartache when you buy parts. And this is something else. I'm going to try to make this really quick because I know we're running over on time, but I'm going to give you an example. So front bumper, 300ZX, Z32 to be exact. You buy an aftermarket urethane-ish bumper aftermarket, and it was the cheapest thing you could find on eBay, 110 bucks. Call it that.
Yeah.
Now, I'll also give you an OEM option. Say some guy had it on Facebook Marketplace, but he wants 250 bucks for it. All right. So you have two different price points here. The issue that you're going to run into is you're going to take that cheap eBay bumper into the body shop, and the body shop is going to say, hey, this is a cool bumper, but it's going to take me 10 hours to make this thing straight enough to where it's going to look halfway decent. The OEM bumper fits like a glove because it's made to fit that. So you have to take those labor hours and calculate that into your equation. So your $120 bumper that you bought aftermarket may end up costing you something like $500 just to make it to fit right. They've got a pie cut, add in a little urethane to make it kind of fit and reinforce it where they need to, where the OEM is going to find you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of extra effort and some patience, but always try to find the OEM. Maybe you got to put some windshield time, some dash time in, and drive to another region, state. Get it done, man. Make some calls, put it out there in the ether. People are going to find you a part, hopefully, as long as it's still available. Just throwing it out there. Nina, who's married to a very, very tedious and probably one of the best painters that I've ever seen, at least through pictures. Her husband Tony mentioned on here 10 hours if you're lucky. So just to throw that out there, and they know what they're talking about. Their entire livelihood is based off of body shop work. And Tony Mariano, which is her husband, excellent painter. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I mean, he lives and breathes that. That's his profession. So I'm throwing this out there. Hopefully the reason why we're doing what we're doing today is to kind of tell out there, save money where you can, but don't cheap out and shoot yourself in the foot. And I apologize, Mike. Go with what are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I'll be honest with you, man. I love turning the wrench. I ain't spraying panels. I'm more of an engine guy than a body guy. So I'm gonna take your advice when it comes to this stuff. So I'm down for it, man. That's probably the most I've seen you nerd out on a topic since we've started. It's been a year since, and I'm like, wow, that's a whole new side of you.
You open up the jar, I nerded out pretty hard. So my apologies.
No problem at all, man. Okay, so last one here. Just talking about gaskets. Are you going to a dealership? Engine gaskets. Are you going to a dealership or are you going to an auto parts store? This is the last one.
Cheapy gaskets, I'm probably going to go to an auto parts store and get it done. If it's head gaskets, something big time, I'm going OEM, baby. I ain't taking that puck. I'm not popping a head off.
I was thinking the same thing. Just like that timing belt. How deep into that engine are you going? Head gaskets, OEM the entire way. Now, side note, I'm going to add some copper spray to help distribute. You know that copper liner?
Look at you. Check out the green on bread. I'm so proud of you.
I would do that.
Out there. Hold on.
Check out the big brain on bread.
Oh, the copper spray. That's old school mechanic stuff. And that's exactly what I utilize. I utilize it. For those that don't know, you can pick up a copper gasket spray and you can spray it on your copper gaskets, or you can spray it on your gaskets. And it really kind of just gives you that. It fills in all the gaps and the unevenness of some of these paper gaskets. But yeah, I can't talk. Don't put it on rubber. We're just talking about the paper
Good point.
stuff. So just throwing it out there. Maybe your what do they call that head gasket with the metal in it, like the
Yeah,
Z32?
graphite. I think it's
Is that what
graphite.
it is? Come on, O'Reilly, ex O'Reilly's soldier. What happened here?
That's what I think. It's a graphite. It's got carbon. It's made to help distribute heat and for durability, and that's why I use it on head gaskets too. Not only the copper, but graphite too. Because think about the exhaust gaskets; they are always that high heat kind of graphite type of material, dark gray material. But another,
No, go.
Another reason why I use that copper spray, though, not only is it for kind of like you said, but also it helps distribute heat, especially on the head gaskets. So obviously, one of the it's right there at the combustion chamber. So I use it to help distribute heat. Though that's again, an old trick. My dad's a mechanic, man. That's what I've been doing. Every engine build I've done, I've always used copper spray.
Check out the big brain on brand.
Look at you. All right.
Yeah. All right.
That's it. We're done. We're finished. Right?
Yes. So just to recap, there are a few factors that we talked about. I'm just going to name them down here. A lot of reasons for decision. One is price. Second thing is whether or not those parts have certifications. That's another decision that you need to make that helps you decide these things. Also, availability. Again, factory OEM may not be available. Another consideration is OEM used. And the last one, we didn't really touch on it, and we're not going to elaborate, but similar to the whole NGK factory debacle, it's what they call gray market. It's where aftermarket companies actually serve the dealer, and they just so happen to also distribute through part stores. That's what they call gray market.
You like electrical components. You see this a lot through tires, for Christ's sakes.
Yep.
Like they'll sign a contract and all of a sudden you got to get that tire for the life of the car. And they stop making it 10 years in and then you're screwed. And it's like, great.
It's like what you say. You're a big fan of Calsonic, right? Calsonic is gray market. Calsonic is they sell to whoever there is about whatever part, but you know what? They have a contract with Nissan and for certain parts. So yes, so that is back alley chat.
That is back alley chat. All those factors come into place, and also if
You ever take it off any sweet jumps?
yeah, so that's what you're using it for. I'm going to throw that in as a little asterisk in there. Shout out to Nina. She said thanks for the shout out. Shout out your shout out. But yeah, she needs to put her name of her husband's company in here. He actually has been doing some amazing work as of late. He's if she can put up the name of the I don't know why I can't think of it right now.
Isn't it Retromotive?
It is Retromotive, but I thought it changed, but I could be wrong.
It may be. Yeah.
Tell me he's going to hit me in the lower region next time I see him. When I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, he actually did an amazing. I think it was a BRE helmet that I still want. Retromotive. He still. He did a BRE helmet that was actually auctioned off at one of the Z-Cons. I absolutely loved it. I wish I would have just grabbed it and stolen and ran off with it. But one of these days I'm going to have him make me something. But yeah, an amazing painter. If you get a chance, check out some of his stuff. They're always great to answer any questions, give you some advice, and point you in the right direction on your own projects.
All right. Before we move on, I do definitely want to give some love out to you guys on social media who have been writing in the comments. From Jest, he says that aftermarket starter and alternator is his way. Good brand, Bosch or something, is always making decisions. There are some major companies. I've seen Bosch. There's a number of others that are reputable aftermarket. So they do exist. It depends on make and model. So you definitely have some choices that you can make. Just also said OEM rotors are his choice. Aftermarket pads. OEM rotors won't warp as quickly. That's a good point. I don't know if I've had experience with that. Granted, I'm always
one track day you'll warp a rotor. Trust me.
Every day is a track day. Yeah, for me. So it doesn't. To me, I don't know the difference. So.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. And Ricky Press did say NissanPartsDeal.com is his go-to for parts. I believe I've been there before. OEM parts, good deal. That's the last plug. We've got that one. So for those of you online, thank you for contributing. And we're going to go ahead and keep it going here. We're just about done, Miles.
Yeah.
Let's see. next up on the itinerary here, just real quick, we're going to go ahead and just recap events that are happening at the moment.
Real quick.
Oh yeah. So we'll start off with 2 events that we would typically promote. They have since they're either over or in process. So first one, Z Days. That one that one took place 2 weeks ago. So Brian Settle and the team, from all reports that I've seen, put on a great show at their new
venue. Yeah.
Blowing Rock there, the new resort. So props to their team. Definitely, if you're listening or if you were there,
congratulations for putting on a good event. Yeah, good boys.
And
good job.
Now you can relax too. Great job.
Yeah, you got a whole year freaked out for the next one. What else was coming down the pipeline? Branson. It was happening actually as we speak. Yeah, it's in process right now. Those guys got a lot going on. The rumor was we might see something from Nissan coming out there. I'm interested to see if that actually happens this year over at Branson. It'd be cool if it did. I saw some pictures. A lot of debauchery going on as we've heard and seen through all the years over at Branson. So Josh and the boys over there, they're doing a great job. We had Josh just on our last episode to talk about Branson. So for those that haven't made it out there or didn't get a chance to attend, put it on your bucket list maybe for next year. Or if you say screw it and you got nothing going on, you just got fired, hey, get your ass to Branson. Go have a good time.
Yeah, that's right. You Branson boys out there, I hope you're enjoying your time. For anybody listening to us, have a great time. Drink one for us.
Drink 2 for us. Bird can't fly with one wing.
That's
What else you got?
Next up on the roster, we are talking about ZCon 34th Annual in Colorado Springs, happening August 16th through the 21st. Miles, I actually put in my time off, my PTO. I put that in today. It is official. I'm going. With or without you, Miles, I'm going. How are you looking about ZCon?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you put in your time, but your boss is probably going to fire you. Big deal. So
even
you're
better.
going to have lots of free time here in the future. So, yeah, great.
Cool. That's right. ZCon, Colorado Springs. Looking forward to it.
No, I already got my time off, man. I'm super excited about it. I think you and I are planning a little road trip. We'll try to go a little live as we go through it. Maybe we'll meet up with some friends and family. Maybe we'll couch surf on somebody's couch. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So
I'm down.
Yeah, we'll have a good time this year. We're going to be trying to report live from ZCon this year. We're going to take some equipment up with us, maybe see if we can get into a little bit of debauchery, and we'll have a good time while we're out there. So I'm sure nothing bad will happen. So what do you got?
Moving on, last one here. So far, again, for those of you who are listening, if you've got an event happening and you're part of the country, contact us at info@nissannerd.com. We want to promote your event. Again, these ones that we promote are just ones that we know of and have attended and are great friends with those who organize these shows. We want to promote your show as well. So that being said, I'll get into the last one here. Going to share with you happening October 8th and 9th. We're talking about Z Nationals happening in Atlanta, Georgia, hosted by Z1 Motorsports. This is actually going to be a big one for them, of course. They are debuting a grand opening of their new facility, and I think you've got a picture here. It's a reality, man. For those who are following Z1 Motorsports or fans, they are just wrapping up the last steps of their construction. So it's going to be a really good time kind of inaugurating this new addition they have to their building. So it's going to be...
building looks impressive. They're doing a great job with getting it all together. They're keeping the fans updated on it. I'm super excited to see them launch this new facility. So kudos to them.
Wow, congratulations.
And then we can't forget about Road Atlanta track day on Friday. So it's 2 days back, Friday and Saturday back to back. You got a track day on Friday, and then you've got the car show and grand opening of their new facility happening. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to try to break away and do that just for the weekend, Miles. And as we get closer, of course, now we are about 4 months away. As we get closer, man, we need you guys to start making some plans for that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get away and we'll try to make that event, and we'll go out there and have a good time. So
Perfect.
Yep.
So,
so that is events, everybody. Again, if you have one in your area that you want to share with us, check out our email, info@nissannerd.com. You can also find us on social media. Just inbox us, let us know more, and we'll go ahead and reach out to you. And we definitely want to help share your events.
yeah. Definitely reach out to us. Let us know if you've got events that are going on, things that are upcoming, even, small shout outs. If you got something that's out there and you want us to know about it, somebody's, hell, we'll start doing birthdays. I don't know, something we can do. So you let us know. And we're all about supporting the community. Doesn't have to be Z-based. We do anything Datsun, Nissan, Infiniti out there. So kudos to everybody for coming into for coming and visiting us tonight. Please subscribe, spread the word, the good word about Nissan Nerd. We love you guys. Couldn't do it without you. So yeah, I think that's going to be, is that a wrap?
Oh, now I got one last one, Miles. I want to go ahead and thank our unofficial sponsors, which was Autolite, Wix, Pick and Pull, Felpro, and Third World Countries. I think we promoted Third World Countries here for a minute.
Third World Countries, we did. Yep, that is true. So,
I had to throw that one in there, man. We gotta have fun with that. So, yeah, Miles, you wanna sign us out?
Yeah. Thanks again to everybody. We love you guys. Couldn't do it without you. That is going to be the end of this Nissan Nerd podcast. And till then, next time we see you, we'll come at you with something fun. We'll have a good time. Love you guys. Come by.
Oh, there you go. Where we at? Goodbye, everybody.
I didn't get to try out like all these other crazy sound things that I wanted to play with, but I don't know. Man.
Do the one you just did before we did the video. What was that?
You talking about the nerd violin?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got all that. That's my favorite. I got so much crazy stuff.
Get him a body bag!
Yeah.
That's a Karate Kid reference. I think you told me about that.
Woo!
Check out the big brain on bread.
All right, we'll get out of here, man.
We're going to have more fun with that definitely down the line, Miles. But for those who are online, again, thanks for being here. We are gone. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right.